Hello. So yesterday, on May 27th, 2021, at approximately 6:30 p.m, I had a right side stellate ganglion block at C6 vertebrae level. For me, this was more for anxiety/social anxiety than for pain or PTSD. While never diagnosed with PTSD, I suspect I have had it before from a massive panic attack after smoking weed approximately 2 years ago, which triggered a long episode of depersonalization and PTSD-like symptoms. While I've pretty much gotten over that, I am still generally a very anxious person, and have always been a very anxious person for as long as I can remember. I wanted to see what the block could do for that, if anything. And the way I saw it, it was very low risk, and it was at a cost level that I could afford to lose if it didn't produce any benefits. And in case you're wondering, for me, it cost £945 British pounds in total, including the consultation, and I had it done by Dr. Krishna at the Pain Spa in Bristol, or the Pain Clinic in Bristol. Very professional, know what they're doing. He does it all the time. Got no issues at all with the procedure itself. Painless. Little sting in the neck, putting the anaesthetic in, but the actual procedure itself was done within a minute or so, and yeah, painless. It was fine. So, unfortunately, I did not have a miracle moment the instant the needle was injected, like some have had, but I did notice a few things within a few minutes of the procedure. The room I was in got a little deeper and a little wider. One common symptom of DPDR is a flattening or 2D effect to the world. Although the world felt quite 3D again to me before the injection, I still noticed an increased level of depth immediately after. Colours seemed brighter and more contrasted. Another symptom of depersonalization/derealization for me was the world losing its colour. I can remember a couple of years ago standing at a bus stop just a few feet away from where I'm sitting now, waiting for the bus, and just being so shocked by how monocolour, monochrome, grey the world looked. Everything, the grass, the road, the fence over the road, the trees, everything just had a greyness to it. I couldn't see. It's almost like I went colourblind or something. I couldn't see a distinction between different colours. It was horrible. So yeah, immediately after the injection I noticed everything seemed more vibrant, and there was more. Again, this is something that has come back to me over the time of that initial terrible experience, but it just seemed to be cranked up a little bit more just after the injection, which is great. On the way home, I recorded a video of myself, and I recognised myself better in the phone screen. I looked more familiar, more like myself. This is a hugely welcome change. It's one of the most uncomfortable, awful symptoms of DPDR is not recognising yourself in the mirror, and like seeing a stranger. And just as I'm recording this, I can see myself on the computer screen, and it's just so nice to be able to like feel connected to your being again. During the video log I recorded to myself on the way home, which is also on this channel, by the way, should you be interested, I'll put a link to that somewhere. I noticed I was a lot more articulate and fluent in my speech. Normally I'm so anxious that my speech contains regular pauses, stuttering, and I generally just find it hard to put a sentence together and verbalise my thoughts, and I'm always struggling to find the right word that I need to use next, or remember the name of a place or a person. However, this seemed to lift the brake that has been put on this process by anxiety. It is really interesting how fluid and just easier it was to just explain to myself on the way home what I was trying to say. Even now, I feel like it's improved. I thought I would treat myself to a McDonald's on the way home, and there was a massive queue in the drive-thru. This would normally trigger anger and a real feeling of hopelessness and despair. It sounds ridiculous, but when you're severely depressed, even the smallest things can feel like the end of the world. But I was able to just accept it without being triggered and wait in the queue with far less negative feeling. And finally, this afternoon, just like 30 minutes ago, the local parcel force driver knocked the front door to deliver a package. 9 times out of 10 I would ignore it and just let him leave it in our designated safe place, because interactions like that are always a big deal for me. I always feel very self-conscious, always replay it in my head after, like, should I have said this, should I not have said that, I wish I had said this. And it's just exhausting, and it's just easier just to not do it in the first place. However, when the door knocked, I still had that initial reaction, but was able to shut it down, open the door and just accept the package, have a little interaction with the driver. Hadn't seen him for a while, he asked how I'm doing, I asked how he's doing, yada yada, pleasant, small talk. Interaction went fine. I can't be sure this has anything to do with the block, but it is a very welcome change, and it is definitely a clear contrast between the way I would have behaved yesterday and the way I behave today. So surely it's got something to do with it. I think generally if your anxiety is less, then your social anxiety is going to be less as well, and you're going to find things like that easier. So those are my main observations within 24 hours. I will try to do another video in a week's time if I notice anything else significant. I'm also planning to get the left side done. I'm going to do that as soon as possible, so I will let you know if I see much difference from that as well. Thanks for watching, and best of luck to you if you're planning this treatment as well.